Fuck, I messed up the last video, so we're doing another one, and then I'm going to bed. So, I just want to take this chance and open this by saying, I've made some amazing friends along the way through this YouTube shit. I've really, like, done something with this shit without doing nothing with it. Sorry, I'm pacing. But you understand what I'm saying? Anybody who's been subscribed to me knows what I mean by that. Like, I really revolutionized this shit and ain't getting no credit for it. And that don't bother me, pimp. That don't bother me. You know, my consolation prize was when I started realizing most of my subscribers was way bigger YouTubers than me. I don't hate on that. They got, listen, YouTube don't have beef with them. YouTube don't put a $50,000 hit out on them. YouTube don't like me, bro. And it started, everyone who's followed my channels for like, ever since it stopped being cigarette reviews and I came out of prison, YouTube, they know why YouTube didn't like me in the initial place, in the first place. They did not like me the way I would talk about conspiracy theories because I broke it down in ways where I took the big words and put them into little words so like anyone could understand it. And it was about shit they really didn't want people to know, let alone massively be able to be receptive to, because I took the big $10 words that act as gatekeepers out of the equation. Little known fact, that's the only reason $10 words exist. I've done some legendary ass shit on it, bitch, pimp. We gonna rebuild, we gonna rebrand, new man, keep going forward. And the whole reason I have to do this one is because I forgot to name a few people. You know how important it is to me with the names. So I had to do this because, you know, I get very particular about my names. Like when I'm saying, you know, thanks to this person, thanks to that person, to the point where if I leave out any fucking names, I go and I redo the whole shit sometimes. This time I'm not doing that. But I am going to add on for a very long time. They were cool with the cigarette reviewers. When I started doing things like talking about the Patriot Act and started doing things like explaining how conspiracy charges are one of the most fucked up charges you can fucking get. And when I started talking about how, listen, we smoking on that Jess Bradley. Listen, Jess Bradley died on heroin, and it was like a magical ritual. It was like she had to die so that all the rich white people folks could start dying from heroin. You know what I'm saying? Y'all might not remember that one. That was a low-key hit though. That was a low-key big hit. So, my dega. You know, like when I jumped milk in the 7-Eleven, they were cool with that. This thing, like, there's so much shit that YouTube, like, I don't know what the fucking rules are, YouTube, because y'all will fucking co-sign some shit I do, like the jumping milk in the 7-Eleven. You'll promote that shit and everything. But then you say that's what I'm getting banned for? And this is not to attack Hassan Campbell, but how many times has Hassan Campbell been extremely, in a way you could say he harassed somebody? You could definitely say that. I'm not saying go say that about Hassan Campbell, but I'm saying, bro, like, just let me breathe over here, YouTube. Don't make me have to be the bad guy. Don't make me have to put you out of business. Don't, because I know I will, pimp. The Lord came and told me. I saw a sign from the Lord that said, Mac Bundles, if you open up a Squarespace and make it like basically a YouTube eventually, you start out just being my content, not let anyone post there once we got traffic. And there'd be no rules. You could literally fucking put a snuff film on that bitch. And if it have nothing to do with me and the FBI raised me, I'm gonna say, I ain't filmed that, because I didn't. That shit would go back to your IP, not mine. And I'd have that special thing, you know, the internet protections thing that they got? Yeah, I'd have that. So whoever made the snuff film wouldn't get me in no trouble. They just get in trouble. But I'd let you post whatever you want on there, pimp. You want to post gangbanging? You could post Crips and Bloods shooting each other and people's head getting blown off right on that fucking shit if you want to. If you want to literally film your life like it's a first-person shooter while you're shooting at the ops, you're going to be able to post this on this fucking website. If you want to fucking film a 56-year-old woman getting a train ran on her and then getting run over by a train, you're going to be able to post it there, pimp. Now, keep in mind, we're not encouraging that you post illegal content like that. It's just we would have no filter. Now I've done some heroin, so I've lost the point that I was originally making, but I'm getting back to it, sir, so please listen. So I said there was a couple people whose names I missed, and I really should have said that shit in the last shit. You see, I'm not retiring. I'm very tired. I'm not quitting YouTube. I'm not doing nothing illegal. Brand partnership. Now I am, because I need to sell videos. So now I'm mad about it. Yes. And we all know that Mac Bundles, the Ice Lord's Nation's General, is an elder statesman D1 crash out of YouTube. Similar to a Benzino, but more gangster, with less female tendencies. What the fuck are emotions? I don't feel those, pimp. I got one emotion, go. And it's colder than a pimp's heart. Because I need to sell some fucking records. So I'm mad, okay, that they did this. And I am going to crash out. And I've Googled where certain things are and know how to get, I can. The office is in. Okay, but anyways, okay, convention center, whatever, you know. Literally, my dead little brother Reed, his family out in Colorado invented Obama Kush and won the fucking cannabis cup that year for it. I think that was back like 08, 09. Seen the little fucking like trophy and shit for it. They won it, like literally Reed, my dead little brother Reed, his legit family, because he's like my adopted little brother, won the cannabis cup and invented Obama Kush one year. Half his family, that's all they did was just grow weed on the West Coast in Colorado and fucking Cali. The whole family called a conspiracy charge. I wasn't mad, but now I am. And I am going to crash out. Because it's what's entertaining. I'm going to crash out, and I'm going to drop so much fucking rap music. I'ma crash the YouTube. I'ma crash your servers, bitch. And so, there is blood on your hands. Yo, look at my shit, look at my shit. I know X be riding with me right now, because shit done got serious. So I understand Mr. YouTube CEO doesn't really understand Section 8 or what the fuck I got going on. That's slightly more expensive. You will have 4 Lexuses because I'm broke. And my shit fucked up. YouTube CEO doesn't understand the trials and tribulations that a young, rich, successful, black, powerful CEO goes through. YouTube CEO is not black. He's not light-skinned. He's Asian. Okay? I'm going to be completely honest. YouTube is terrified of me. I don't fit the mold of any other YouTuber. When I started getting traction, that scared them. When I fucking fucked their system up and made the Snow White channel have its own fucking algorithm, that pissed them the fuck off. They did not like that I was gaming the system in ways that they didn't even know the system could be gamed yet. I know this is what you have all been waiting for. There was a lot of people who were probably shocked that I did not do this 2 days ago. And you know what's great? I'm not gonna drop another video like this the whole year. At least for a whole nother 90 days. But, meanwhile, you have gay people who are in the closet who come through my comments. Bro, here's the thing, all right? That's how I know you're gay. I don't know nobody who's going to go out their way to specifically watch content they don't like to the extent that you're doing it especially. And just comment on it repeatedly. Like there's trolling. 99% of the world trolls when the opportunity presents. They don't go out their way and fucking try to fucking troll someone who's got fucking 1,000 subs just because they don't exist in real life and they're gay. DJ, you're gay and you probably don't exist in real life. However, what the fuck you did to my fucking channel, that's some police shit. I'm not threatening nobody. So between the axis of evil that is YouTube CEO, that is the YouTube corporation, that is Sean Hannity, that is Elon Musk, and that is fucking DJ 4561113, who's a fake person, gay, and a bitch. You mad I'm not gay, bro? It's pissed. That's why you trolling. You're like, damn. One of them had a fucking mail order bride from China. And he died like 3 years ago. The old video right now, so it doesn't matter. It's funny how you could start a whole video and be like, so yeah, there's just 2 people I forgot, but they're very important, so I really need to like give them a shout out. And I wound up just shouting at the YouTube CEO for what he did to me. You understand now what you've done? How am I gonna feed my son? How am I gonna feed my fucking son, YouTube CEO? Lockheed Martin said they're not gonna pay me no more because this channel too small. I was making a good fucking check off fucking with you, YouTube CEO. Lockheed Martin was literally paying me. This is no bullshit. This is no cap. I was contracted by Lockheed Martin. This is 100% true, 1,000% E-Hollywood store, whatever. It's true. It really happened. They paid me $210,000 a year, pimp, Lockheed Martin, to just post videos and try to make other content creators and the YouTube CEO have health complications by watching the videos. They wanted to see if me doing what I was doing would act as some type of super psychological warfare with real-world nonfiction properties that come through the screen like it's a bullet through a TV. And it's got a bullet with your name on it. But not a bullet for your Valentine. Because they're gay. Mr. YouTube CEO. And I'm going to get the shout-outs out the way because they're very important. Are you prepared to do all the shit that you think you prepared to get into? Because we could do a little bit of math, Mr. YouTube CEO. You shoot at me, I ain't gonna tell him what happened. I can't speak on that. I can't speak on that because I'm a convicted felon. But we getting into... I've been getting in shootouts my whole life. My whole entire fucking life. Since I was 9 years old, I've been involved in shootouts. Me and Pete Hegseth just got in a fucking standoff yesterday because he's white and he was drunk and his parents was white and they know how to fucking raise him. Listen, even though I'm half native, but my pops is an immigrant. That means I got my ass whooped growing up a lot. That means that pops raised me more like a black parent than a white parent from Russia. 5 cents to his whole fucking name. And seniority. I wasn't making as much money as my pops was making flying fucking planes, but it was damn near close. And Lockheed Martin was paying me, bro, $210K a year. You understand I made $1 million? I made just shy of $1 million if you include my last tax returns for the last 5 years. It was all a big psyop to try to get you to have a stroke, heart attack, or some other type of fucking serious stress-related condition through the phone screen just by me antagonizing people. That's what was going on. And Lockheed Martin was paying me very fucking handsomely for it. And now they're not. Because they just called. They just called a fucking hour ago, and this is why I'm pissed. I made that last video. They said, Ice Lord, listen, we got to talk, man. So what's going on, Lockheed? Come on, talk to me. Talk to me nice. Don't talk to me at all. And they said, it's over. We're going to send you a severance package of $25,000 and an F-22 Raptor. I said, wait, what's going on? Severance? What do you mean? Well, you see, Snow White, Ice Lord, I'm sorry, you like to go by Ice Lord now. I'm not going to make the same mistake that YouTube does when they constantly mislabel you. Stop mislabeling people when they change their fucking alias, okay? You want to get mad about misgendering, stop mislabeling. Y'all specifically, bro, when they sent the email, they said China White Official. Bitch, I wasn't rapping with Little John back in the day. I hope the YouTube CEO suffers from sickle cell anemia, which I don't even know if fucking Chinese people can get. And I hope he fucking catches AIDS. Not HIV, no. Straight up Easy-E that motherfucker, man. I hope he just straight up winds up Easy-E and he don't even know how he got it. Tommy Morrison, yeah. I'm talking spicy now, yeah. What you gonna do? You gonna give me one strike? I'm just never gonna post again for like another 90 days. Yeah. Ain't harassing nobody. It's not illegal to hope for shit, bro. I can hope as much as I want. I hope that Ryan Reynolds puts y'all out of business. I hope I put y'all out of business and become the next Ryan Reynolds like I will, pimp. Because God and Jesus are telling me to go start this website. They said, go forth, start this new website. Start it as a film studio for your films. Then, once it gets big enough, then you gotta come through with the others and let them post the videos. Cause this is the game. No, God doesn't talk like that. Jesus don't talk like that. But I just, for the effect of the drama. You know it's no disrespect. Big G. That's Big G. Both them. Jesus and God. That's Big G right there. That's the biggest G. That motherfucker Jesus is numero uno. He's more important than you, me, my wife, my kids, Obama, Donald Trump, Elon Musk. Jesus numero uno. So now that I've fucking done this whole thing that might go viral just because it's a fucking Charlie Sheen moment. You see a diamonds in a chain? Shit, DMX gave me this while he was alive. So, I just want to make clear to Mr. YouTube CEO that I don't think he's prepared to deal with. Yeah, I don't think he's ever faced an opponent in the arena with this type of strategy, pimp. He has never faced a magical spellbinding warlock in the human domain, pimp. He never will. I can't die. Do you understand? I literally cannot fucking die. I beat death. Okay? Like the Grim Reaper came. I was supposed to die when that kid tried to stab me when I was 8 years old. Okay? And God did some shit where, like, he teleported his dad out of nowhere. The Grim Reaper's here. Kid tries to stab me here. Dad fucking tackles kid. Boom. And the Grim Reaper literally just looks at me and says, well, I'm not sure how this is going to affect things in continuity because you were supposed to die here. But I don't think I'll ever be seeing you again, to be honest. I said, what do you mean? Bro, you saw where that knife was. What do you think happened? God did some, you know what I'm saying, shit. You know, he did that shit. God, you know what I'm saying, Jesus, you know, did that shit. You know what I'm saying? Be out here in heaven gates, you know what I'm saying? How do you think his dad, bro, his dad wasn't even in the room. What do you think happened? Let's just be real. God put his dad there. God didn't tell me he was doing that. You were supposed to die, pimp. I said, what do you mean in continuity? What, like, said, you were supposed to die and you didn't. That means there's no date of death. Your date of death has passed. You only get one. You only get one in every life. You don't only live once, but in every life, you only get one date of death. And yours was at 8 years old on that fucking floor playing GameCube. And God did some shit. You know what I'm saying? He basically did that shit where he let Kodak out the feds. And yes, the Grim Reaper then took his hood off at that point. And he was actually a really nice person, bro. He's really not scary. He's cool. He kind of reminds me of just like a weed dealer or something, bro. He reminds me of a drug dealer. Anyways, so like I swear to God, like the Grim Reaper, bro, that's the plug. Anyways, so why do you think he exists in acid tabs? Why do you think if you do enough acid, you can literally get the Grim Reaper to come and just burn some shit into your forehead like he did to my brother? No, because you weren't supposed to see it. Do you think the Blind Skateboard Corporation exists? What is the link between Blind and the Grim Reaper? You ever figure that out? Do enough acid and you will. And then after you figure out, you're going to go blind for the rest of your acid trip. And then you'll wake up and you won't be blind no more. Ask my brother. Grim Reaper is going to tell you to divorce your baby mother, and y'all aren't even married, and start banging mad younger hoes. So now that we're 15 minutes into this segment of the video, which is not even going to be like, I'm just going to attach all this shit together. It's going to be like 30 minutes of just, fuck you. So you understand, Mr. YouTube CEO, you're dealing with somebody who literally cannot die. That the Grim Reaper told could not die. Okay? And, you know, I'm not going to extort you. I'm not threatening you, you know. I'm just talking about myself because I'm being very, very careful. But I want you to know that I'm mad. I want you to know that I'm not going to do anything bad. I want you to know you're completely safe. Your life is not in danger. Mine is. And I can't die. You understand? This is my house. I disconnect the cable and turn the lights out. How am I gonna pay my electric bill? You understand what a sweet fucking gig I had set up through Lockheed Martins? Do you understand? Just to try to make yo fucking old Asian incel ass have a fucking stroke or heart attack or something by just posting bullshit. That's why I was baiting you. Do you understand? They paid me so much fucking money. And I would get like a bonus if I did certain shit. You know, which I wouldn't do all the time because I feel like at that point I'm acting like an action figure. I'm like the Lockheed Martin action figure. Where they'd be like, oh, well, if you say this, you get more money. So then if I say it, it's just like, oh, yeah, we just moved his arm and manipulated the points of articulation. So, you know, yeah, no. So I wouldn't do it all the time. But when I would, You understand? They would give me $1 million fucking dollars every time. That was always I made more in a bonus than I made on my yearly salary. It was written as a tax write-off. It was written as like a donation. So it wasn't even taxed. Yeah, LOCKHEED Martin, the real one. LOCKHEED Martin had been paying me. I made, how do you think I bought this house, bro? I got this broke building I'm fixing up for what? I make no money off rap. I make money off LOCKHEED Martin. LOCKHEED Martin was literally paying me more than what probably the highest tier YouTubers make a month. Is there any YouTubers who make $200,000 a month, pimp? Who makes $250,000? I was making more money than my pops, technically, if you want to get technical. My pop make $240,000 a year, as far as like base rate for being a pilot, right? Bro, LOCKHEED Martin was paying me $220,000 a fucking month. Excuse me, $219,000 a fucking month. And this went on for 5 years. That means I made $12 million, YouTube CEO, which is why I said, I know you might have more money than me, and I know it takes money to go to war. I got money. You don't got balls. It take balls to go to war. It take courage and a penis to go to war. It takes fucking bitches to go to war. If you a virgin, when you go to war, you won't come home like a VDV soldier. You won't come home like you were in the VDV. You know, Putin, that shit, you know what I'm saying? I would like things to change. You know what I'm saying? Like, how am I going to keep this mortgage up now and shit? How am I going to do this, pimp? Because literally, LOCKHEED just called me an hour and 15 minutes ago and said, listen, we're going to send you a severance package. The only thing that sucks about it is you can't sell the F-22. It's illegal. We literally made a law. Not like you're literally one of the only people who has one privately, but you can't sell it. So we're going to give you $25,000 and this multi-billion trillion dollar airplane that you're not allowed to sell. I told him, I said, would you know if I had sold it? I can't even fly planes, pimp. Like, what am I supposed to do with that? I'm not my dad. I'm not. Who do you think you are? You think I'm my dad? I don't fly no planes. I don't got no type rating. I don't know what the fuck to do with that. Maybe I'll just fucking turn into like a fucking, like a flight sim for Ace Combat. I'll be like, yo, y'all think y'all fucking joysticks and fucking little flight simulator cockpits in your house is cool? How many of y'all is fucking playing this game while you're sitting in a fucking F-22 that you don't even know how to fly, that LOCKHEED Martin's basically gifted you off the rip as extortion as part of a severance package, so you wouldn't come back and extort them later? I'm not mad at LOCKHEED Martin's, okay? Everybody has a role to play. My role was making like $12 million a year trying to cause various internet personalities to have tragically critical health effects happen to them, some of which I actually made of, in ways that I will never get in trouble for because it's not illegal to make content. I just would do this, and LOCKHEED Martin was running a graph. They had a little fucking statistics, like they were watching shit. They know more about what happened than what I do. They never even said, okay, you made this guy. They never told me nothing that happened. But they said, you're doing good. Things are happening. And they kept paying for it for 5 years. Yeah. So that should tell you something. I don't even know what I did with what I was doing. They just told me keep doing it. And the checks would keep coming to the house. So I did. And they said that part of the reason that they selected me is because they knew I was a D1 crash out. They knew I was a convicted felon. So if shit went left, and they knew that I was a D1 crash out. And oh yeah, and the most important part is they knew I was a Rigelian with magic powers. They knew I was not from this planet. I am an astronaut. from the star Rigel. And I glitched death out. And they said that because I have magic powers, because I'm able to curse people, that's why it had to be me. Because regular people with no type of sixth sense, third eye, no activation, you know, they're not, like, people who aren't the psychonauts can't do this shit, pimp. That's exactly how they said. They said pimp. That's what happened. It really did. I've just made $24 million, thankfully, in the past like 5-6 years, while being completely demonetized on here. How did I do that? Shout out Lockheed Martins. So Lockheed Martins has made me a very rich man. However, I want more. So this is where we're gonna take this YouTube CEO beyond Thunderdome. Beyond Thunderdome. Fucking like $13 million in the bank. You're lucky. D1, Division 1, crash out. I'm one of the elder statesmen of being a D1 crash out. Like, do you understand? This is not the same as being a crash out. No. D1. Like, I could go do this professionally and make millions of dollars a year doing it, pimp. So I'm gonna say, the one on the golf course, you know who I'm talking about. That's a Division 3 crash out. Do you understand? There's levels to this shit. On the golf course in Florida, who missed? Listen, I'm not saying I'm just trying to give you the scope and comparison of what Lockheed Martin pays for and how they classify these things, because they paid for him too. Actually, that was technically paid for by Boeing, but still. He was a Division 3 crash out, okay? That's why he missed. He had an SKS. That's why he shot at the good guy. He didn't shoot at the bad man. No, he shot at the good guy. I've been getting in shootouts my whole life. How do you even make that mistake? I just had to rant about this. Very upset. Millions of dollars lost. But I want to say I really appreciate Sam Moore for always coming through here. You know, it really keeps me going at times like this, where it just feels like all hope is lost. You know, we had to abandon ship to build a jet. You know, that's what my rich little brother literally told me today. I told him that. He said, abandon ships, build new ones. I said, abandon, because he said a typo. He spelled a typo and said something about jets in it. I said, abandon ships, build bigger jets. Evolution, pimp. So I just gotta say, shout out Sam Moore, my good friend that's Death Row Southeast, Sam Moore. Shout out Buck Buck. You know, very, very good guy right there. Like, there's not many people on the internet that, like, if they showed up to my house, I wouldn't be like, sketch the fuck out and be like, get the fuck off my property now. Sam Moore's like Sam Moore and DJ Bandana Black might be the two people on the internet. Like, even if Super Sly 75 just showed up at my house, I'd be a little bit sketchy. I love Sly, but that's just very out of character for him. Listen, that was my other shout out. You know, there is a man on his YouTube who took a huge risk and got 2 channels nuked because of it when he put me on his show. This is when I knew YouTube did not like me. This is when I knew YouTube viewed me as a threat. So, shout out Superstar 75. I'm going to tell you a little story. I'm going to get up out of here, right? So, me and Superstar 75 had this, it was like a 3-part fucking, it was hours of interview, bro. Only interview I've ever done on this bitch, aside from Sharp the Pimp. That's another person, if he showed up at my crib, I'd be like, oh, it's Sharp the Pimp. One of the things that came from Mr. Florida Man. I've never opened this part till now. Well, I have. There's a Thrasher magazine he sent me. Oh, I ripped it. Fuck, sorry, Florida Man. It's just a folder, though. So, allegedly, Florida Man gave me a Steve Vai pick. And we're going to get back to Super Slide 75 in a second. We'll get back to this in a second because that was more pressing. Super Slide 75, and right after this interview is when LOCKHEED Martin called and said, listen, Ice Lord, Snow, at the time I was still China White. You know, I think I just turned Snow White. You know, it was like Pokemon. Like, I wasn't Charizard yet. So, basically, LOCKHEED Martin called right after this interview. So, Sly took a huge risk. I don't know if he thought at the time, because at the time we did the interview, I was still going by China White initially. I don't know if Sly thought that I was the woman who used to rap with Lil Jon back in the day, which would mean back when I was in diapers, literally. Her name was spelled not the same way. It was China, but the white was Whyte. Okay, because Lil White didn't exist yet when she came out. That shows you how old she is. So, I don't know if it was because he thought I was her. I didn't even know she was a thing till, like, I'm talking to this dude spray paint on here, and he goes, did you used to rap with Lil Jon back in the day? And I'm like, first off, I'm like, back in the day, that means like Shawty Freak a little something. That means like that, the do the East Side Run It, whatever the fuck. That means back in like 1996 at the latest. That's like way before, yeah. Like Lil Jon and Lil Jon back in the day are two very different things. I'm sorry, but you need to understand, you must understand this. I have to explain this. So this is a deep dive. I don't know if Sly was like, yo, I need to interview you because I think you're this fucking famous bitch who used to fucking rap with Lil Jon back in the day. So not only will get me a famous person on my fucking shit, but maybe I can smash too. I don't think so, because I feel like if that's what it was, the first interview would have just been like it the moment he realized I wasn't that bitch. Because Sly never said nothing about it. Like, oh, are you that? You know what I'm saying? That was a whole other YouTuber. I had no idea that this person existed. Like Sly, I don't even know if Sly knew that she existed, or if Sly was just like letting me keep going with that. Like, oh, I'll let someone else tell him that that's someone. So basically, we do this whole interview, and Sly winds up having to fucking nuke that whole channel and his whole other channel. Both those things, that interview is lost media. And listen, it's not for nothing that was talked about, because we were talking about shit that other fucking YouTubers have talked about a fucking lot. It's the way I break it down in a way where anyone can understand some complex ass shit. It scares them. They don't like that, because for a long time, the powers that be, one of their biggest tags, why do you think the JFK thing is 80,000 pages? Why do you think bills that go into Congress are like 9,000 pages? Because they purposely, and this shit should be illegal, just to be, like, if you're the government, you should not be allowed to put nothing out that's longer than 10 pages. Like, if it is, put that out too, but you have to put something out that's 10 to 20 pages. I'd say no more than 20 pages. Paperback, book, whatever the fuck. Well, here's the JFK files, 80,000 pages. Have fun. Bro, the Bible ain't even 80,000 pages, bro. I'm pretty sure if you take all these books in my library, okay, all these books, you put them all together, you don't have 80,000 pages. You take all these books here. Yes, this is a real book. It'll tell you that itself, okay? You put all those together, not 80,000 pages. Like, every book I own, you could combine them all, and it would still be less than half of 80,000 pages. It would be less than 40,000 pages. I'm more positive than HIV was about Eazy-E right now. Okay, I know how Pimp C really died too. I just thought I'd remind you about that. But yeah, they labeled me a threat very early on in my YouTube career. They were cool when I was just promoting people smoking cigarettes and killing themselves. They were cool with that. Fucking rare malignant form of lung cancer. Cool with that. They loved that. Give that video 6,000 views. Give that video 13,000 views. They loved that shit. And I'll also say that was very branded. Like the way I was doing that at that time was very conventional. I had seen a format of shit that I knew was like the way you present this, and I followed it. Because when you're younger, you tend to be a fucking follower. So like, anyways, at the end of this, yes. So Sly took a huge risk putting me on his show. Huge risk. We were supposed to do a part 4, and we never did it. And I didn't understand at first why. And then I realized why. I said, bro, they really tried, they really like got mad at him for putting me on his show. Just listen how wild this is. And this is way before, I think, even the old YouTube CEO, God bless her heart, you know, RIP, you know, that's my baby mama right there. That's baby mama number 3. Anyways, shout out Jesus, Big G. Anyway, so they put Sly shit. They fucked Sly shit up over having my ass on. And I literally commented, I said, so you're telling me they did this to you right after you put me on your show? Like, I'd already realized, like, I was being shadow banned. I'd realized there was a lot of shit going on. And it happened the moment that I would talk about some shit that was not just conspiratorial, but shit that was conspiratorial in a way where conspiracy theorists weren't even talking about it. Like the shit I said about the Cold War and the space race and how it was really just like, bro, it was called the Cold War because it was a war in space with Russia and China, and space is really fucking cold. So basically, like, you know, I gotta say, shout out Super Sly 75. I really had to, because him putting me on his show, like, that really, like, it didn't do a lot for me, but it did enough for me. And I had sort of become like a fixture of his show ever since that. Like, when I pop up in the chat, they motherfuckers announce me. They announce me. And I know what scares YouTube is I'm a very, like, unbelievably high IQ individual. Stephen Hawking tops out at about 150. So just do the math, YouTube CEO. If you're as good as math as I am, you know. Because, you know, YouTube CEOs like doing some math. Y'all job profession is good at math, YouTube CEO. Yeah, I'm not being racist. I'm just talking about what's going on. You know, you're the YouTube CEO. You know, a lot of YouTube CEOs are very good at math and very bad at driving. Anyways, because I'm a pro comedian now. So this has been incredibly unhinged, incredibly real, incredibly entertaining, with a lot of jokes that are not threats to anybody or anyone or any type of organization. But I just had to say, yeah, shout out Sam Moore and shout out Super Sly 75. Because I forgot y'all, that's why I give y'all this deep dive of 40 minutes of incessant, ignorant, ghetto ranting at a camera about a man that probably doesn't even really exist as a person. What if all this shit's a green screen, bro? Everything on TV, period. These people are not real. The president's not a real person. He's not real. He's just it's a hologram. Tupac, everyone's a Tupac hologram that's on TV. What about that? That's the type of conspiratorial stuff I'm talking about that when I would talk about it at first, they really didn't like. Because I would say that, but then I would say a whole bunch of shit that, like, really made you think. It didn't make it make sense, but it made you think, like, yo, what if he's right? Fucking pattern where people around you just get hit in drive-by shootings, you know. Shout out Rob 49. You know, my mama put that dope up to dust that task force. Drug, sex, and violence. Good for the youth. Baby Larry Hoover. Drug, sex, and violence, what they told us, it was good for the youth. Baby Larry Hoover. Lord bless me, hallelujah. folk got the big wash, the real one. All right. So Super Slide 75 took a huge risk putting me on channel. I didn't even realize how much of a risk he took, or that he took damage. Like, he took fucking damage over putting me on his show, essentially. That part I really didn't realize till like literally like maybe 6 months ago, when I tried to look up his old channels and they were gone, and he had just talked about like having to nuke them shits. I'm like, no way, you're lying. And sure enough, they were gone. And that shit happened like right after my interview. Like right after we did the interview, I'd say maybe at most a year and a half after that. But even Slide's like acknowledged the moment that we put the white boy on the screen, that's when YouTube started hating. And it's the thing, like I said, it's not because I talk about things they don't want you to know about. It's that I talk about things they don't want you to know about in a way that someone with an IQ of 79, if their IQ is 77 or higher, they'll be able to understand what I'm talking about. That's not the point. I did it because I can, and America is what that means. Freedom, equality, democracy, capitalism now. On demand with the Molly. The Molly! The Molly! The fucking Molly! We ain't call that shit Danbury Fair Mall. No, we call that shit the Molly Mall. You know why? We used to rob motherfuckers at that bitch. We didn't go get in a car, get on a hard bus, whatever the fuck. After we just ran off with their bread and told them we'd be right back, we're gonna make a swap in the parking lot. We just leave that bitch and then we go get the Molly. The fucking Molly. In 2015. So anyways, yeah, Super Slide 7, that's why he'll always be able to get me on the show for free. Because of that. Because of that. Like, Sam Moore, I love you. Maybe I'll go on your show for free. But if Sly called me right now and said, Mac Bundles, I need you on this interview. Ice Lord, Snow White, I need you on this interview. We're doing this panel. We're talking about shit that I know is your wheelhouse more than anybody else's, including myself. We need you on this interview. What's your rate? And I would tell him, Sly, you don't gotta pay me shit. We crashing out on CRASHOUT gang. And if they fucked with Sly channel again, you know what I be telling people about, like, if you threaten my lawyer, if you threaten my doctor? The same goes for if YouTube does anything for Sly channel. I will delete the YouTube terms of service. Don't ask me how that worked, pimp, but just know I can do it. I can literally delete your terms of service. Don't ask what that means or if it's some hidden meaning. Don't worry about that. Just know that it's a thing, okay? I came out here smoking a cigarette, talking a whole bunch of incoherent bullshit for 30 minutes like a Steven Seagal movie. Just so I could say, shout out all the people that really, helped me along the way. That's what really hurts, bro. It's not the lost media. It's not the albums, all that shit that, is scattered across SoundCloud and other parts of the internet in some cases. In some cases, it's gone. In some cases, the only copy I have is on my fucking recorder deck and my little Chinese MP3 player that the brand is Titties. Okay? And that always likes to put on that song from Hotline Miami too whenever I'm having a really deep fucking moment. It'd probably put it on right now if I was playing that shit. But just understand, I have $24 million right now. I was paid very well by LOCKHEED Martins to do this job, okay? And I did the job. I did the job. I served my country. I served my LOCKHEED Martins. A star. You're gonna be powerful. And I am. YouTube, I know you don't have the same type of money as Lockheed Martin's. Because they gave me $24 million like it was nothing, pimp. Like it was nothing. Like, I would just make random ass videos like this where I'm like, I don't know if this is going to have any type of fucking stress-related health effect on anybody. And they just send the check. They never, like I said, they never even told me, oh yeah, you did good. This happened to such as. They never let me know shit about what was going on. And that was part of the contract when I signed it. They said, do not ask about our survey. Do not, you know, unless we sever ties, which is why now I'm allowed to talk about it. They said, do not ask about the results of the survey. None of that. As far as you're concerned, the survey don't even exist. And they said, if you had less than 500 subs, we wouldn't have even done this. That's why we got to do the severance package. So I'm not mad at them. I understand. You know, I'm sure there's a lot of much bigger creators they could have done this for. And it would have just like fed like someone who was already eating, bro. They could have done this with a Jake Paul and he would have been like 4 times richer than he is right now. I have $24 million thanks to Lockheed Martin. And they science experiment that they had me take part in. Because they said that my psychic type Pokemon was the right one. And that they couldn't find another one. And because I come from the planet Rigel, you know, Rigelians, we're a very hardy breed. You know, Rigelians are a skinny but hardy breed. You ever try to fight a Rigelian? It's been told by the police. He is insanely strong. Like, I've literally been able to get to a vertical with 6 cops on top of me. 6 cops on top of me, and I'm getting tased. And I get to a vertical. And then I hit one of them with a hip toss. And then they all fucking tackled me and were punching me in the head. And they threw me in the back of the car and made sure they slammed my head on the door. They put me in because they're like, he's too fucking, his power level's over 9,000. Yo, one of the cops literally had the fucking rabbit shit. That's what made him run down on me. That's the whole reason they were like, sir, stop right here. No. Your power level is too high. You gotta come with it. I'm like, fuck no. We start squabbling right there. Lockheed Martin told me my fucking power levels are so high that if I got cancer, my body would beat it naturally. My body would beat it naturally. Like it would just fight the cancer away. I wouldn't even know I had it. And even if it didn't, I wouldn't be able to die from it. The Grim Reaper told me, bro. Listen, God and Jesus, that's numero uno, right? They control like rebirth and the afterlife and earth and all type of shit, right? There's one thing they don't control. Death. That's why literally the Grim Reaper was like, I can't do anything. I don't even know, like Grim Reaper acted like the way YouTube, I'm pretty sure YouTube acted when they last time deleted and then gave my channel back. And I think they did some shit because they're idiots and they don't know how to fix something. So that shit literally just timed out and after 6 months I got my shit back. I knew YouTube didn't like me because there's 4 levels of shadow banning. Most people only know about the first 2. Some people know about the 3rd. I didn't even know a 4th level fucking existed till it happened to me. And I was the only person at that time I knew it had happened to. And listen, all you people with millions of subs talking about, oh, I'm shadow banned. Fuck out of here. Cry me a fucking river. No, you're fucking not. How'd you get to 1 million subs? You just got a fucking million bots over there? You're not shadow banned. If you have anywhere above 1,000 subs, you're not shadow banned, sir. You have to leave the club. It's a real cool club and you're not a part of it. So I just had to do this and just let everyone know I'm okay. The beef is back on. And I'm going to crash out in California. I'm out this bitch.